cry.
That's okay.
Yeah. My name is Dr. Christy Morgan, and I am the Arizona Director for Candle Wishes in Phoenix, Arizona.
My name is Jenny Williams. I'm the founder and executive director of the Candle Wishes Foundation. I just really felt this burden come over me for these kids.
Children mean a lot. You never want a child to grow up feeling like they're not loved.
God put this on my heart to want to give these children happy birthdays.
This foundation just touched my heart, so I knew that this was something that I needed to do.
Okay, y'all, I'm not gonna ugly cry. This is terrible.
There was a time in our life where we struggled. There was a time in our life where we lived paycheck to paycheck. One time when we first moved down to Phoenix, a friend of ours, even at Christmas time, paid for my son to have a picture. Paid to have a picture of our son sitting on Santa's lap, and I couldn't afford it because we had just moved across the country. And so that's always stuck with me. If you would love to sponsor a child, if you would like to throw a birthday party, if you would like to just volunteer,
we need your help. Reach out to us so that we can connect and make our community a better place.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I am Ken Walls, and I'm your host, and you guys are the very first people on the planet to see that new video that we put together for Dr. Christy Morgan and Candle Wishes. So make sure you go follow their Facebook page. She is absolutely amazing. She was on the show last week. She's amazing. So anyway, without any more about that, I want to tell you that I have an amazing guest on today. I have Lisa Patrick on. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ken. Woo-woo! Excited to be here.
Oh, you're funny. So you know, I know you've seen several of the episodes on the show. And, you know, I created this to give back to the world, and, you know, I've been blessed, and I want to just help people get unstuck, because I truly believe that people hit these walls, these obstacles in life, and they get stuck and they can't get past it. And yeah. You know, you and I know you pretty well. We've had a lot of great conversations, and I know you've hit those walls. I know you have, right? So
yeah, we all.
Right. And I think that you know, by sharing our stories, it helps other people. It really does. So yeah. So let's start with you know, tell everybody where you were born and raised.
So I was born in a little small town. So I'm Canadian, for all you guys out there who aren't. So I'm Canadian, so I'm really nice, so I'm told.
You are.
Thank you. Well, I was born and raised in a small little town in Wilkie, Saskatchewan. And I am the only child of a entrepreneurial set of parents. So my dad had a farm. My mom and dad had a farm, so I was raised on a farm. So being an only child and the girl, guess who got to ride in the tractor and pick rocks and do all those wonderful things that farm girls get to do? That's where I learned work ethic. No question down. And my dad, so when there was no farming in the summer, in the winter he ran the actual driver education program. So in Saskatchewan, your driver education as a kid is actually part of the school curriculum. And so he ran that in the winter time, and you know, make money in the winter. And yeah, so that's where I was born and raised.
Wow. So do you know how many Canadian guests I've had on this show? I mean, it's a lot. I've had a lot, and there's not one of you that I like. Catherine Pon Enns is on here. Sawyer Lozelle, like they're putting up Canadian flags. Some of your fellow.
So I now live in.
What's that?
So I now live in Alberta, though. I don't live in Saskatchewan anymore.
Right.
I live in Edmonton, Alberta. I moved out here in 91 and I never went back, other than to visit family, obviously. But yeah, so
That's awesome.
love Canada.
Yeah, and you know I've never been to Canada. I think I've told you that before. Is that insane?
I don't know that you've told me that before.
Yeah, I've never been to
You're
Canada.
missing out.
And I live like 3.5 hours from Toronto, I think. I don't know. I mean, we're not far.
But you're not far. Western and Eastern Canada look very different.
That's
It's
what I
like
heard.
different climate, different everything.
Yeah.
But both equally as beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I've got to make the trek up there, definitely. So, so that it's like America's hat, right? I'm sorry.
And no, we don't live in igloos. We don't live in igloos, and
That's
it's
so
not
funny.
winter all year round, and we don't walk around in snowshoes and all those wonderful things that some people think that we do.
Oh, yeah, I've got a lot of people from Canada on the stream right now. It's so funny. But anyway, so you grew up on a farm. You were a farm girl. That's why you and my wife get along so well. She's a farm girl. You know, like so as you were growing up, and I know that it, you know, college is different, and it's a little bit different. It's college and university or something like that, right? Two different things. But did you end up going to college or university?
I did. So yeah, as a little girl. So my dad was an RCMP before he was a farmer, and I don't know if it was because he was the RCMP or if it's just my nature of who I am.
What is
But
that?
I've since the time Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, he was a cop. He was a cop. So, and I don't know, I never ever remember wanting to be anything but a police officer my entire life as a kid. Everybody said, what do you want to be? I'm going to be a cop. I'm going to be undercover drug cop. That's what I want to do. And that's all I ever thought about. So when I graduated from high school and I went to a year of university, which I called Bar 101 because I truly didn't go to university. I attended classes every now and then. I realized that university was not my structure, that I wanted to go into law enforcement. So I went and got my law enforcement degree.
Wow.
And so when I got out, I worked in sex crimes for 6 months for the city of Edmonton and said, nope, that's not for me. And the money was not all that great. So then I started a private investigation firm. Well, actually, I went and worked for a private investigator for 6 months, said, this is BS. I can do this better. I'm going to go do it on my own. And I've never went back working for anybody since. And that was when I was like 22 years old.
Wow. So there's something new. I had, like, did you know that, like, all of my friends, not all, but a lot of my friends are in drug enforcement here in Ohio? Like
No, I didn't know that.
I built the website for and maintained for the Ohio Narcotics Officers Association for years. In fact, I have a
Wow.
little deputy sheriff challenge coin. So yeah, all of my best friend is a sergeant with the sheriff's office. But so okay. So now my mind is, because I know what you do now. We have.
Hey everybody! I made Ken speechless.
I know.
That never
like,
happens.
wait. It's like, wait a minute. So you're a cop.
No, I wasn't. No,
I know.
I was a private investigator.
I know. I'm teasing. So you've got this, but you have this like law enforcement education and background and investigation background. I couldn't even imagine working in the sex crimes. Oh God, I couldn't take it. I'd be in jail because I'd start shooting people. So you got into this private investigation firm. You were there, you said 6 months, went and started your own. And how did that go?
Awesome. It was my first real try at entrepreneurship. I was very successful at it. The reason that I exited is because I had got married and had twins, and I couldn't run the company and have twins and jump in seats and put wigs on and do all these wonderful things that I was doing when I was out to here. So and I didn't want to. I had an offer for the company, actually a very lucrative offer, and I didn't want to continue with the company. It was contingent on me. The exit was contingent on me staying with the company. And, so I didn't take that particular offer, but I did well anyways.
Wow. So did you say jump in seats and put wigs on? What's
I did
that
I
mean?
I had the tickle trump. Well, I would be like, I'd have to jump out of my driver's seat into my passenger seat with my video camera at the back of my van, or throw a wig on, or all kinds of different creative things. Because I worked in the insurance sector, and I worked for lawyers with child custody cases. Those were the two lanes. I get calls all the time as a private investigator. I think my husband's cheating on me, or I think my wife's cheating on me. And I'd always say, listen, if you think they probably are, I'm just not going there. That would have been really, really good money. I would have made way more money.
Right.
But it just was something I didn't do.
Wow.
So I stayed in the insurance and in child custody lanes.
So how long did you do that before you were out to here, as you said?
It was about 4.5 years, 5 years, somewhere around there.
Okay. And then, so you got married, you said twin girls.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was probably a walk in the park. I'm just kidding.
No, actually it wasn't. We couldn't get pregnant. So I had to go through the whole in vitro system
wow.
to get pregnant. So when we talk about perseverance, that's for you ladies out there who know what I'm talking about. That's a long haul, but we got it. We first try, and we got our daughters, and cost us a few bucks, but that's the way it goes.
That's incredible. My brother has twin girls, and his wife is a twin, identical. They have identical twin girls, and his wife is an identical twin as well. It's crazy. I think the odds of that are like ridiculously low.
Yeah.
So
I would think so.
Yeah. But so you have so at this point you had twin daughters. You'd been a PI for 5 or 6 years. You're a college graduate or university grad? Both?
Yeah, so I went to university as well. Yeah. When I graduated from law enforcement, I thought, okay, I don't want to be a cop now. What I want to be. So what does everybody do? They go to university to find themselves.
Yeah.
So I thought I would be in the psychology. So I took a psychology with a sociology, and I knew that if I wanted to make money, because everything was always about money and passion, truly both, and they go hand in hand. I'd have to get my PhD, and and I wasn't going to do that. Yeah. So and I was PIing at the time, so naturally that just made sense.
Right.
So that's what I did.
Right. Wow. So you ended up in with twin girls. You sold did you sell the business before they were born?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had these beautiful twin girls, and how did life go from there?
It was exhausting.
Right? Yeah.
It was exhausting. Yeah. So the first 6 months, I really don't remember much. And they only started sleeping through the night when they were about 2.5 or 3 years old. So yeah, it was crazy. Not gonna lie. So sleep deprivation. And I don't think I don't sleep anymore, in all honesty. Like, I'm up at 4 a.m, 5. Everybody laughs at me because, don't phone Lisa at 1:30 in the morning, but you can phone her at 4 because she'll be up.
Wow.
So I have really early mornings, but I love the mornings. To me, that's the place when my thoughts are the most clearest, and I can be very productive.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's been, yeah. So I was very tired. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can more than imagine. I've been there with my brother's twin girls. It was insane. So so at this point, did you and you were you a stay at home mom then? Is that what
Yeah,
I'm hearing?
yeah.
Okay.
So my husband is a consultant in the oil and gas industry, so he's gone a great deal of time.
Okay.
And back then he was gone he'd be gone 3-4 months at a time. So I was a married single mother, really is what I was.
Gotcha.
And but my passion to keep my brain going was always in the back. So in year 3, I think they were about 3 or 4 years old. So about 2007 actually, I started an interior decorating company because I wanted to do something. I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to socialize. And I knew I would never make big money at it. It wasn't a company that I was going to grow to this grand scale and sell for billions of dollars. It was just something that fed my mind and kept me fresh in business. And so I did that for a couple years. And then my accountant approached me and wanted to know if I wanted to help her go online. And this would have been about 2008 with some bookkeeping tools that she had. And that's really where I started to get my feet wet in online marketing and, this whole passion about bringing products and services to the, e-commerce space at the time.
Wow. So somebody just asked are you still a PI?
No.
No. You gave that up.
No. Well, it sure would be fun now with Facebook and everything else. It would have made my job a lot easier.
I mean, right? Yeah. I've said this before. I've been around for a long time in selling, and there was a time when none of this stuff existed. None. Zero. No internet, nothing. No cell phones, and you're out trying to figure out how to cold call by actually cold calling, walking in the business.
Exactly.
It was crazy.
I knocked on when I first started, that's where I really learned follow-up and perseverance, truly, was when I started my PI company, because I don't know how many no's I got. And every time I get no, I'd get a little bit more excited, which sounds crazy.
Yep.
But I'd be like, okay, that's a challenge. I got to get to the challenge. I got to secure those deals. So I kept hammering on the doors and hammering on them and hammering on them. And David Jensen. So, David calls me the queen of persistence. Well, it's because I never give up. Yeah. Never give up.
So let me ask you though about I want to back up a little to where you have the twin girls and you decide to start the interior decorating company. How old were the girls at that point?
They would have been about 3.5, 4 years old by then. So they were, potty trained, starting to sleep through the night. Things were I was getting a little less tired, so why not start another business?
Right.
On your spare time.
I think that, but here's the thing I know about you. I don't think that you ever do, I don't think you do anything half-assed or part of the way. And so my question for you is, even when you started the interior design company, did you have the thought that this is going to be the largest interior design company in the world? No?
No, I really didn't, Ken. No, what my belief was this was a passion project, if you will, because it was a way to feed my brain to build processes and do other things that are all part of business that included because it was a product-based company, and I had never been in a product-based company. I'd always been in a service-based company. And so I wanted to figure out how do you do the product side of things. And that's really why I created the interior decorating company, is because then I wanted to learn that lane of business.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it was my educational path.
Sure.
My commitment to lifelong learning. That's what that was.
I gotcha. Well, so you did that for how long again?
did it for about 4 years, roughly.
Okay. And that's when you had another shift change?
Yes. Yeah. So then the shift was, my accountant had come to me and said, we want to bring these courses onto online. And I'm like, e-commerce. And that was like, okay, nailed the store lane, figured that part out. Okay, now e-commerce. I don't know anything about e-commerce. This is that. So then I'm like, I gotta learn this now. Yes, I'm in. And it allowed me to stay home with the girls because they still weren't going to school. And my husband was still working out of town a lot. And so I could sit in front of the computer when the kids were in bed and having their sleep and, morning and at night and just start to learn. And that's, I think, the biggest thing for anybody who's watching is you never, ever, ever stop learning, because the second you stop learning, you're done.
Yep. I totally agree with that. Totally agree. And I've seen, I know some of your accomplishments in that space have been absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. Like just tell everybody what you did, what you created. It's pretty phenomenal.
So I have a company and it's called Extra Credits, and you can find it on Facebook. And really, it's about bringing world-class experts to educate the world with higher learning opportunities so that they can pursue their dreams and become lifelong learners and reach your potential. And for those professionals who need continuing education, it's a one-stop shop for credits.
And like you're not talking about just like, hey, take this little course. I mean, you've got Grant Cardone in there teaching stuff, and these are for real college level credits. Like these are for your professional designation, literally real credits, right?
Absolutely. So part of what the problem is with education, and I have come to learn that this happens the same in the US as it does in Canada. So you go to university or you go to college and you get a trade, or you become an accountant or a doctor or a lawyer, or like your regular designations. And then there are hundreds of thousands of certifications and licenses. What happens is, especially at the university level, is you finish your degree. Now you've got to go out into the world and you've got to become a member of an association that monitors your ethics and all your skills and everything. And then you've got to find a job, and then you've got to earn so many hours of training every year. And how do you take all that on? You're fresh out of school, you're brand new, you got to make money, you've got big bills because you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars at university. And so now you've got to continue your training. And so I recognize that here's the spot where people need a one-stop shop. And not with Johnny Sue, who says that they're the expert, with the experts specific to soft skill, to business, to entrepreneurship, to sales, to communication. Those things that universities and colleges, they don't teach you that. And that's what gets you successful in business.
Right.
You still got to do the job. I mean, I wouldn't want a surgeon who could speak really well but couldn't do his job on working on me or my kids. But still, we're talking about scalability of different educations, right? Yeah.
So, who are some of the experts that you have in your system?
Sure. So, for coaches, if you've got coaches in your network, I've got the mother of coaching. She's been coaching longer than anybody on the planet for coaching. She's been on Oprah Winfrey a couple times. Her name is Dr. Cherie Carter Scott, and she's been coined the mother of coaching. So I've got her. There's nobody in the world who coaches better than Cherie in life coaching space. And of course, I said we've got Grant Cardone. So I know you've got a lot of 10Xers out there that are big fans. Yeah. And Patricia Fripp, who's a Hall of Fame professional speaker, but she is a speech coach to Fortune 500 companies. So, I mean, that's that kind of excellence that we have. They really are the experts. They practice what they preach in their businesses, which is really important for people, because when you're looking for that expert, and they might not have those accolades, but they practice what they preach all the time, which makes them really good expert, because they're applying what they know to life and to business.
So let me ask you, as soon as you decided to do this system, Grant Cardone and Patricia Fripp and all these people just called you and said, we want in? No?
Oh, Ken, you're so good. No.
No, that's not how it went down?
No, that's not how it went down. So I'm going to tell you the story of how it went down. So, and I'm going to tell you Patricia Fripp, because she was the pioneer and the trailblazer in my company and in my industry. Because there's really, truly, I have competitors, but nobody's competing with me at the level of what I'm doing anywhere in any industry.
Right.
So when I was a PI, I was on a board of directors, and there was a RCMP gentleman by the name of Dave Rodwell on the board with me. And he said, Lisa, and he was a member of CAPS, which is the Canadian version of NSA, which is the National Speakers Association. So he says, we're bringing this lady. Her name is Patricia Fripp, and she's coming up to Canada, and it's, invitation only, and she's going to come and talk about public speaking and how to create and deliver powerful presentations. And I looked at him like, are you nuts? I was just in the bar the other night. I had 3 different wigs on, 4 different shirts. I'm in the back. I don't want anybody to see me, and you want me to go for some kind of public speaking? I guess no. Right. But my dad is on my shoulder saying, Lisa, a missed opportunity is no opportunity. So I went. And I absolutely I went home that night and I couldn't sleep all night. I hadn't met her at the time, but she came out and there was a couple Olympians in the room, and there was some big people in the room, and I sat in the front row, and it was like she had talked to me the entire time I was there. Like there was nobody else in the room. I don't know if anybody's ever had that happen to them, but it's like you're so absorbed in what somebody's telling you that you forget about everything else that is happening. And so I never met her, and I left that day, but I made a goal. And my goal was that someday, somehow, I was going to do business with her. I didn't know where it would be or when, but that I was keeping her in my Rolodex at the time. They don't have those things now, but anyways. And fast forward many years later, and I'm looking at online courses, and can I get them accredited for continuing education, and what does that look like? And so who did I phone? But Fripp, because I knew Fripp had online courses.
Yeah.
And so I phoned her and I said, hey, Patricia Fripp, this is Lisa Patrick. You don't remember me, but I remember you. You had a profound impact on my life in 2008. And I would just love to have a conversation, and I would like to pay it forward and have a profound impact on your life. That literally is what I said.
Wow.
And if you know Fripp, the phone 10 minutes later rang. And we've been doing business ever since.
Okay, hold on a minute. And people that are watching this right now need to understand that Patricia Fripp is she's way up here. She's Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins. She's super high level, big time, right? And I want to make a very, I want to point this out, and I'd like for you to kind of elaborate on it a little bit, because you are the queen of follow-up. David Jensen, I know you are, right? You're so persistent. But that one email, that did not require any persistence there. All it was you crafted an email sharing what was in your heart.
Yeah. Wasn't even an email. It was a phone call.
Or a phone call, sorry. And you were just sharing what was in your heart, and that's what. And you said, "Look, you impacted me. You changed my life," and that people want to hear that. People want to know that they're actually making a difference. And you literally said, "Hey, you made a difference here, right?" And that's what sucked her in. That's what got her, is right?
Yeah. And I think too, the fact you have to remember that when you're making those kind of calls to these people, she's a busy woman.
Yeah.
She's everybody's call. And so you have to make sure that when you have these conversations and the very first cold call, truly, and everybody will tell you, it has to be about them too. It can't be just about you.
Right?
Yeah. So really, I'm going to make an impact on you. Now call me back because we've got to have a conversation. And she did. And she is probably one of the most genuine people that I have ever met in business, truly. Like, I cannot say enough about the lady as a person, never mind her business and her, like, and her, like, I don't know anybody at the age that she is, and I'm not going to say her age, but if you guys look her up, I mean, she can hold Wonder Woman's costume like nobody's business. Like, there's no way I'd get in that costume. Like, she's a force to be reckoned with all on her own.
Well, and that's just, you know, and I'm not saying she's just, but like that's one person in the whole big picture of what you're doing. There's Tom Hopkins. I know there's a lot of people that you've been, you know, and so I guess, you know, without going, you know, a whole lot deeper into all of that. I mean, you can go as deep as you want on that, but I want to talk about some of the things like, you know, I've seen you on I saw you on a video with our buddy Hank Norman, and you know, some of the things that bring out the fear. Look, you cannot be an entrepreneur and not experience fear. I just listened to a book that was phenomenal. I just finished it. Takes me so long to get through books. It's insane because I've got so much going on.
Audible.
That's what I'm talking about. It takes me forever. I don't drive to work. I walk down the stairs to work. So like it's hard to find time to. It just is. But this book is by John David Mann and Brandon Webb called Mastering Fear. And holy crap, you know, everybody's like always say, and it's an incredible book. He was a Navy SEAL, Brandon Webb was, and John David Mann is co-author with Bob Berg in all the Go-Giver series. Yep. He's a phenomenal guy. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and phenomenal guy. But you know, in the book, he's like, everybody's always talking about you have to overcome your fears. You have to. He's like, that's bullshit. You don't overcome fear. You use fear. Everybody has fear, and it's just such an impactful book. You will not believe it. It's incredible. So I want to talk about some of the fears along the way because I mean, look. If you're like wearing wigs and hiding out in bars watching, you know, insurance fraud people or whatever, I mean, that's crazy for a chick to be doing. That's crazy. If I was your husband, I'd be like, no, you're not. Like, no, I want you home alive. Like, you're not doing that. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta understand. Like, there was fear sometimes in some situations,
right?
But I'm also trained to hold my own, right? Like,
I know,
you know. But there's fear of, holy shit, is my video camera? Because at the time, my camera was in a handbag, or it was like stuck in my lapel underneath because I had I was pretending I was pregnant, but really inside the pregnant was my camera system all through my lapel and whatever, right? And so everybody watches a pregnant lady walk around like this holding her belly, right? So, but really I was holding the camera, trying to keep it steady to shoot video. And like, it was just, that was, now it would be, oh yeah, like everybody's got to be so easy. But anyway,
funny.
But there was always fear.
Right.
But it was a different kind of fear because it required, everything was on me. It was a service-based industry. So it was me who had to be accountable. I didn't have to be accountable to anything else but me and doing my job really well. Right. Well, and then of course I had investigators afterwards. But so there's always fear in everything you do.
So, but what are some of the, like, you got into this, so you got out of the PI stuff. You got out of the interior decorating. My God, what haven't you done?
It's always about the lanes. It's about the lanes.
I know, I love it, but like, because I've been we're a lot alike. So what are some of the, and you don't have to go into detail, but I know it wasn't as easy as picking up the phone and calling Patricia Fripp and developing a relationship, and boom, everything was like, all right, hey, we're good. I'm a multi-millionaire now and never have to worry about money or anything again. That's not the way it works. And so tell me about some of the things, some of the walls you hit, some of the things that you're like, shh, I'm not getting through this. We're going down.
Yeah. And it does happen because in this business, especially an online business, there's a lot of moving parts. And when I first started, I didn't have a clue how many moving parts. So my company is fairly young. I started it in 2015. And probably my biggest hurdle, and Ken, you and I have talked about this, is the marketing. Yeah. That's been my biggest hurdle because I got shammed by a number of marketing experts who said, I'm the guru. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, for X amount of dollars, this is what's going to happen. And God, if you can't sell Grant Cardone courses and you're the marketer, it's not the product that's the problem. It's the person that's trying to do it, right?
Right.
So probably that's the biggest wall until a few days ago was the biggest wall for my company, and some things have happened. Nothing I can share right now, but so and it's the fear of failure. And you saw I had a major breakdown on Facebook Live. I mean, there was no way that I knew that was going to happen talking with Hank. But must just been the right time and the right place. And I was able to be genuine about what was happening in my business at the time. Yeah. And, fear of failure is huge. If I fail at this, then I'm a failure. And all the things that you think about, and I'm not a failure. I mean, I know that to be true. I'm very successful. But there's still those fears and every day. And I don't care if you are somebody who's making $50,000 in your business or you're making $50 million. Everybody has that same fear. And I was at an event this past weekend, and there was a young gentleman there, and he's like, holy man, look at all the people in this room. And he was so afraid to go and talk to anybody. And I'm like, did you go to the bathroom today? He's like, what? I said, did you go to the bathroom today? And I said, I'm being serious. Answer me. Did you go to the bathroom? He's like, yeah. And I said, you sat on the toilet? And he's like, yeah. I said, so did everybody else. Everybody shits in the same toilet. Get over it. Go talk to them. Like, that's all you got to do is strike a conversation. Yeah. They put their pants on the same way as you do. Like, there's no difference. They just have a bigger bank account.
Yep. Doesn't matter. That part does not matter. You're right. No. Love that. I love that. So you've that was kind of that thing you did with Hank, wasn't that? I think that was in a private group that we're in, I think, or was it?
No, it was live.
Oh, was it all of?
Oh yeah, no,
it was global.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to dig too much into that, but I want to talk about those fears because so many people, I have hired, I don't even know how many salespeople over the years, hundreds, maybe thousands, I don't know, a lot, yeah. Telemarketers and salespeople and door to door and phone to phone and everything, and so many people give up. Many people give up. It gets hard and they give up. You start a business, it gets difficult and you give up. You start a business, you become overdrawn in your checking account, you can't make payroll, shit's hitting the fan and you give up and
that is usually, I believe that's when you're getting ready to do this with your business. If you are at the end of your rope, you got the last penny and you're thinking, holy shit, I can't soak more money in this. Am I nuts? Because this business is, I believe in what I'm doing. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. That's usually when you either make the decision and you change your mindset and you're like, you got to go through that wall. That's the biggest thing. Like, that's what I love about your show, Ken. Break through walls. Not only are you, a website guru, designer, and I've seen some of the work that you've done, but you really are making an impact, having people like me and Lisa Copeland and Sharon and all these people who, like, I'm not a multi-millionaire. I'm just got a big vision and you got to think big and think really big if you want. And my biggest fear is always not being 3 steps ahead in my thinking process, because I'm a visionary. That's where I live. Like, what are you going to do this? Okay, well, how do I connect that to this, to that, to that, and what's happening in the market? And this makes sense. And now let's go. And then you got to have the resources to do it, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And that's that not being 3 steps ahead. I mean, you never know, because you just don't. You might have the most innovative idea in the world, and there's some guy in a hut in Pakistan that has a way more innovative, and like it just has, you haven't seen it yet, you know. I'm not saying everybody in Pakistan lives in a hut. I'm just saying, I mean, like some, you know, you just never know what's coming. And so I think that again, what we were talking about a little bit ago when it comes to the fear stuff, it's, yes, I have fear. We all have fear, right? And life is difficult. Scott Peck wrote a book called The Road Less Traveled. And I read this book. I've read it multiple times. It's one of my favorite books ever. And the most famous sentence ever in any book is the very first sentence in this book. And it's, life is difficult, period. And it's like, okay, well, that's not very positive. But he's not saying like, hey, be negative. He's right. He's saying the sooner you accept that life is difficult, the faster and easier it's going to be to transcend the difficulties in life, right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's like you saying, Ken, yes, of course I had fear. I'm walking around in a bar looking pregnant and I'm actually carrying a camera. Like, right? What if somebody kicks my ass because of this? Like,
if I get found out, like, that was always. But that's not a fear of inside. That's a fear of somebody's going to beat the out of me, right?
Yeah.
That's that fear. But like I think probably one of the biggest things that I've learned in this journey with extra credits is that the more I meet really successful, and I mean successful, I don't mean their bank account is successful. I mean successful is in business and in life. I realize that there is you hear people say, oh, there's a commonality between successful people and it's only 3% of the world. But there is. And I think the biggest thing is there's not one person that I haven't talked to that's successful. And we hear this, Warren Buffett says it all the time. It's an avid lifelong learner. You have to keep learning. And that's why I'm so passionate about extra credits, because now I get to share that higher learning opportunities with the whole world at a price that they could never get anywhere else in the world. And that's
so awesome.
What really excites me about extra credits. That's
so awesome. And you have some of the world leaders in their industries. I mean, if you want to learn how to become a public speaker, who would you call?
Fripp.
Patricia Fripp, and she has courses on your platform, right?
She does. She has courses on my platform, and then she has her own platform as well. So so online learning is going to grow, and you know that, Ken.
Yeah.
It's going to grow, like it's about to explode in what's happening, and millennials eat it up, like everybody eats it up. But the differentiator for me is that mine's accredited, and I'm accredited.
That's awesome.
Education, but not just for realtors or not just for massage therapists, but I'm in multitude of industries.
Right.
And one of the things that I recognized with extra credits was that I would have a coach that also was an HR professional that also had other certifications and licenses.
Yeah.
And they needed to be able to cross industry. And the problem with the continuing education industry is that it's very lane driven and there's no crossover between those industries, and there needs to be.
Yeah. My wife is on here and she said, Lisa, you are bound for the stars.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Jill.
Yeah, we love you. You know that.
Okay.
So I know that there has to have been. Am I saying that right? Do you have any English teachers on your platform? I'm kidding. So Are there people that have reached out to you that over the years that have been stuck in life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think that most successful entrepreneurs, we get those calls, we get those emails, we get those instant messages, right? What do you think the biggest thing is in life that's holding people back from? And I'm not talking about just bank account stuff. Although having a nice bank account, I'm not going to lie, it beats having no bank account, right?
Well, it allows you to open doors and do things faster is what it allows you to do when you have a bank account.
Right. So what do you feel like is the thing that's holding most people back?
I think it's twofold. I think, first of all, they lack the support network to help them internally with the people around them, because people around you, when you get to a certain level of success, they then say to you, and I never used to believe this until I started being with really successful people, that everybody, you look for your inner circle to help you. Now, I'm fortunate. I don't have a lot of friends, but the friends that I do have are friends, and they want me to succeed, genuinely want me to succeed. But I think part of the problem is that the people around them aren't supporting their passion and their vision. I think that's one of the biggest things. And the second thing I think is fear of success, not failure.
Really? Why fear of success?
Because when you're successful, how do you handle that? How do you handle all the things that come with success? It's not just money, but it's everything else. Your lifestyle changes, your home changes, your family changes, your friends change. So many things change, and people get afraid of that because they're afraid of change.
Yeah, I agree with you. So if somebody called you up and said, I'm stuck. My electric's getting shut off tomorrow. My car got repossessed last week. I'm being evicted, or I'm losing my house. Things are, I just can't figure it out. I don't know what the hell to do. What would you say to them?
That's a good question, Ken. I think probably the first thing I'd ask them is, what do you want to do? Because if they know what they want to do, then I would, and I mean, to make money, obviously, because they have to have what do you want to do? Do you want to be a photographer? Do you want to be an engineer? Do you want to be, and then I think the next question I would ask them, okay, well, how can we do that? Because if that's what you want to do, then your actions will require you to do what you want to do. But if you just looking for any old job, you're not going to succeed. Words are one thing, but action is completely another. So I think that's what I would ask them.
This book,
try to help them, obviously.
Right. But you're on to something there with what you just said, because the book that I was just talking about, Mastering Fear, in the very end of the book, he says, "Look, you're going to have fear. It's natural, but fear can be used to propel you if you're crystal clear about what you want. You have to be crystal clear, and then that fear can push you. That fear can help you get there. If you are not clear, that fear will hold you back. It'll kill you.
It'll kill you. And if you look at most successful stories, Oprah, I mean, that goes from fear of failure, fear of but she was crystal clear on what she wanted. And she was at the bottom of the barrel when she got to the top of her game, right? Like, so you look at all the most successful people, those are the stories. They were they were on Skid Row. Grant Cardone, he's another good example of where was he, if you read the book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, it's his story. I bawled through the whole book, but I bawled because of his story, but I bawled because some of the things that he said is things that I think and I believe and my fears. And I'm thinking, did he write this book for me, or did he write a book? Like, what's going on here? It was crazy. I remember telling my husband, like, holy Billy, like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Right.
Like, and I've never met the man. I mean, I do business, and I met Jared,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but I just think like, and there's a commonality with everybody in that.
And that's the thing. Again, when it comes, like you're mentioning Grant and Oprah and, Tony Robbins, he talks about in his book or in his journey, or Gary Vaynerchuk, or anybody that you could, like, who's the woman that wrote the Harry Potter series? Like, yeah, her.
Yeah.
I mean, she was living on food stamps, on government assistance, and couldn't pay her bills. She was like down to nothing. Now she's one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest woman on the planet. She's a multi-billionaire. J.K. Rowling, thank you, Julia.
Yes.
So that is that's the thing, is like, you may be at the bottom. You may be at the lowest point in your entire existence on this planet.
Yeah.
And all you have to do, it really is this simple, is you have to get clear on what you want. Right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But then I think, too, you have to get clear on what you want, but then you've got to actually do the work.
Do the work, yep.
You got to do the work, and it is a piss load of work.
It's a lot
But
of
you
work.
gotta be committed. You're very successful. You know how much work it takes you and Jill to run your business and your family and everything. Like, it's work every day. But our kind of work isn't work. We love what we do.
Right.
So we get up in the morning every day like, woo, what's happening today? This is happening.
Yeah.
I'm happier if there's 1,000 balls moving. Because if 10 balls are moving, I just don't feel like I'm doing enough. But I love it.
Yes, and I've had, look, I'm not going to lie. There's many days I've woke up and went, I don't have that, like,
You want to fall in bed and say, oh my God. I've had those days too, where I'm like, oh my God, I'm curled up in the corner in a fetal position because I'm thinking, oh my God, what did I just do? I made a big mistake in my business. Now what?
Right.
But there's always a silver lining. I know Hank rode me hard on this one when he's like, of course you would find the silver lining and everything.
Right.
But it is, because it's always a lesson learned. And if you don't take that lesson and change what you're doing and your actions, then what's the point?
It's true, though. You're right. You're 1,000% spot on. So let me ask you, I can't even believe that we've been on an hour.
I know. And it's funny. What? My husband says to me, he says, well, what are you going to talk about for an hour? I'm like, I have no idea. And I can't believe it's an hour.
Wait, hold it. We're not done.
I can talk all day about business.
I know.
Everybody says, what books do you read? Business books.
Yeah.
Like, you don't read a thriller? No, I read business books.
No,
like, yeah, you got to optimize every minute of the day. And then Coach Michael Burt.
Love that guy.
I just found out that the man has a series for girls and boys on learning and how to overcome everything that he learned.
Yeah.
I'm buying it for the girls. I came home, I said, I met this man and there's this training, and you guys are taking this training because these are the skills that you do not learn in school.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. And that dude is freaking awesome. I mean, he's awesome. When
Fred says that guy is a professional speaker, he's got it going on, and she gives him the stamp of approval, he's good. Yeah,
he's unbelievable. So how can this is going to go out on the binge TV network, where a lot of people will see this and wonder who both of us are.
Who I am. Yeah.
But
who are these people?
Yeah, who are these people? But
they're not favors and we don't have all these accolades that everybody else has. And runs around. We're smart. We're pretty smart people.
Yeah, well, you just keep pushing, keep trying. Someday we might get there. But how would everybody follow you?
So Lisa Patrick, BFD, and there's a story behind that acronym. Yes, it is what you betcha. Yeah. So I'll tell you the story because this is kind of funny. So it was actually two stories to that. So one time This is a few years ago, and I'm sitting with these two ladies, and they're highly educated, and they got like CPA, after their name, right?
Yeah.
And the other one's got, she's a chemical engineer, and all these a PhD, and da da da. And they're like, so what are yours? And I'm like, BFD. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm a big deal. That's fine. And for my close few friends that I talked about that I have, there's always a joke going on. Like, I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big deal. Like, just in my world, but I'm always a big deal. So anyway, so that became my
That's
credential.
awesome. I love it. I really, really love it. I'm going to steal that, in fact.
Go for it. Let's start moving on PFDs.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, but yeah, so, and of course it extra credits, XTRA credits.
Yeah.
And that's, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those lovely places. I'm not on Snapchat. I'll never be on Snapchat.
Oh, yes, you will. I'm going to get you on Snapchat.
My kids snap. I'm like, I do not get that. I don't want it. I got enough ways of communicating. But
How much
anyways,
you guys want to bet I can close her on being on Snapchat?
well, you're on, because you're gonna have a hard time on it unless you tell me I can drive revenue from it. Then probably will.
Yeah, I can show you how to drive revenue from it. So anyway, listen. Thank you so much for being on. I cannot believe we're at the end of the hour. Thank you. I know you're busy. You got a lot of balls in the air, and I know you were traveling over the weekend. So, thank you seriously for coming on, taking the time out of your schedule to be on. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before we go?
Believe in yourself and do the work, because nobody else is going to. And if you don't believe in yourself and you don't do the work, you're not going to get whatever dream you are pursuing, life or business.
Amen. Amen to that. Thank you to everyone who's been on here and all the Facebook comments. Everybody who shared, Lisa is sending $10 to each and every one of you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I am, but Jill's actually going to be the one who's going to foster that whole $10.
Nice. Awesome. That's awesome. So, no, thank you all. Really appreciate you guys being on here. You are all amazing. Lisa, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
See you guys later.